Hello there, hockey fans, the hardcore puckhead here, and can you believe it? There are just 2 weeks left in the regular season. 2 weeks. Time is running out. We are now in the final week of March. Oh my goodness! But even with this little time left, there is still left to be decided. However, um, one thing's for sure, first things first, congratulations to the Winnipeg Jets for a couple of things. Number one, the Winnipeg Jets reached 100 points for the first time ever. Ever. This includes the original Jets who moved to Arizona. They never reached 100 points. Matter of fact, the Coyotes, since moving to Phoenix in 1996, only reached the century mark once. That was in the 2009-2010 season. Um, but the second team that was originally the Atlanta Thrashers, they never reached 100 points. Even when the Thrashers won the old Southeast Division in the 06-07 season, that wasn't a 100-point season. The highest point total was 99. Their highest point total was 99 when they made the playoffs as one of the two wildcards of the Western Conference 3 years ago. They finally reached the 100-point mark this past Friday when they beat the Anaheim Ducks in overtime. And of course, today they won in a shootout. Uh, they won a shootout earlier today against the Nashville Predators, 5-4, and that win put the Winnipeg Jets into the Stanley Cup playoffs. This is the counting the overall Atlanta Thrashers history that began in 1999. This is the third time that this Thrashers slash Jets 2.0 franchise has made it to the Stanley Cup playoffs, but they still have the stigma of having never won a playoff game. In the previous two times they were in the playoffs, they were swept both times. They were swept by the Rangers in '07. In 2015, the aforementioned Ducks swept them. And yeah, the Jets are in the playoffs. Congratulations to Winnipeg. So that means at least that certifies at least one Canadian team will be in the postseason. And Toronto should follow them soon, but that looks like that will be it. Because the other five are either eliminated or screwed. As a matter of fact, I think the only Canadian team that's actually alive in a wild card race is the Flames, but they're fading very fast. Um, so yes, the Jets are in the playoffs. There's two spots clinched, six left to go. The Golden Knights had two opportunities to clinch a playoff spot on Saturday and on Sunday. They lost via shootout to the Red Hot Avalanche, um, but failed to clinch because failed to clinch when the help didn't come for them. And they could have clinched if the Ducks had lost. That didn't happen. The Ducks beat the Oilers in overtime. So only two spots clinched in the Western Conference, six to go. As for the other races, yes, Vegas, but there's congratulations for the Knights. They reached 100 points. Also, they reached 100 points when they lost in overtime to the Sharks. That gave them their 100th point. The shootout loss gave them their 101st point. They made history as the first expansion team to ever reach 100 points in their inaugural season. It's never been done until this season. So Vegas just keeps making history. Um, Vegas leads the Pacific Division by 6 points over the Sharks. Nashville leads by 5 points over Winnipeg for in the Central Division race. As regarding other positions, the Ducks' win actually gave them a bit of a cushion for third place. They lead they lead the LA Kings by 2 points for third place in the Pacific. The Kings are actually out of a playoff position. And that is due to the Blues beating the Blue Jackets on Saturday, moving them into a playoff position. They currently hold the second wild card position with 89 points. They hold that. It's the same point total as the Kings, but St. Louis has played one fewer game. That gives them a better point percentage. They're behind the Avalanche by 1 point. Colorado's 90 points. puts us at the #1 wild card position with just 2 weeks left. But if the season ended today, we'd be looking at a first-round series against Vegas. So that could be interesting. Colorado is 3 points behind Minnesota for third place in the Central, but 3 points can be made up. It can be made up. So that's the Western Conference. In the East, Tampa Bay and Boston still remain the official locked-in spots. There are 6 spots left in the East. Nobody for the Metropolitan is clinched, but it's not as close as it was when this month began. Washington has a 3-point lead over Pittsburgh, who beat Philly in overtime to start Sunday's NHL action. The Brewers picked up an overtime win in Minnesota, so they are behind Tampa by 2 points. They're behind Tampa by 2 points, so it's going to be a close race. Boston could end up winning that division. And I actually said on Twitter, if Columbus wins the Metropolitan, Twitter will shut down. I don't think that's going to be much of a concern now. Columbus is behind by 6 points, but they're in third place division over Philadelphia. The 1 point Philadelphia picked up tied Columbus in points. They're tied in points, games played, and row Columbus. And the season series is actually even. So why is Columbus in third place? They have more wins. Columbus is 42, which is an amazing number. Columbus is 42 wins. Philadelphia is 38. That's why Columbus is in third place. Okay, so with 2 weeks left, I'll give you what the playoff series would do if the season ended right now. Okay, so let's start with in the Western Conference. The Central Division bracket would have Nashville facing off against the Blues. That was the Central Division final series last year. Winnipeg would face Minnesota in a very interesting geographical series because Minnesota and the Canadian province of Manitoba are right there. So that'll be interesting. It'll be the first time ever for both teams, of course. That's the Central Division bracket. In the Pacific bracket, Colorado Colorado Avalanche would actually cross over to the Pacific and face Vegas, while the Sharks would face the Ducks. That would be the Western half. In the East, both wild cards at the moment are in the Metropolitan Division. The Devils and the Flyers. The Devils. Flyers #1. The Devils #2. If we would cross over, the Devils would actually cross over into the Atlantic bracket and would face the Lightning in the semifinal series, which is interesting considering that on Saturday the Devils actually beat the Lightning 2-1 regulation. And the other Atlantic Division semifinal series would see the only 2 original 6 representatives of the playoffs, the Leafs and the Brewers, face each other. Now, we all know what happened the last time those 2 played each other in the playoffs. It went 7. The Leafs had that lead real late, but Boston had that comeback, scoring 2 goals in the last 90 seconds and winning overtime. In the Metropolitan bracket, Washington would face Philadelphia in one semifinal, while Pittsburgh and Columbus would be running into each other again. This would be the 2nd straight year and the 3rd time since 2014 that these 2 teams would face off in the playoff series. They say familiarity breeds contempt. So yeah, those would be the matchups. They're subject to change, obviously. There's 2 weeks left the season. A lot of teams have either 6 or 7, or in some cases 8 games left. Florida actually has 9 left, so they have a lot of time really to make up whatever they have to make up. They're 3 points out of a playoff spot at the moment. Okay, so what's on tap for this week? I think I have this handy NHL app. It's amazing. So what's on tap for this week's match of games? Well, the Avalanche will head to Vegas to face the Knights. It's the second half of a home-and-home. Caps and Rangers on NBC Sports Network. That's important. The Devils face the Hurricanes. That's actually NHL.tv's free game for Tuesday. So that can be watched on your mobile device or on your laptop. The Pens face the Wings. The Sharks face off against the Blues, the Wild, the Predators. Some playoff-filled Western Conference games for Tuesday. Bruins face off against the Jets in battle with two teams who have clinched spots but are still looking to improve their position, possibly win the division. The Ducks head to Vancouver on Tuesday. Wednesday, the playoff-bound Avs, possibly playoff-bound Avs, face the playoff-bound Flyers. That's on Wednesday. The Wednesday night rivalry game is Rangers and Capitals. That's always good. On Thursday, the Lightning and the Bruins face each other. That is a highly important game because first place in the Atlantic could be decided in this game here. The Penguins face the Devils. The Devils have been having the Penguins numbered this season. It's uncanny. Dallas plays Minnesota. Jets face the Blackhawks. Let's talk about the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are eliminated. The Red Wings got officially eliminated this week for the second straight year after 25 straight seasons of postseason action. On Friday, the Avs host Chicago. Caps and Hurricanes. An important Southern California meeting between the Canes and Ducks and the OC. And the Blues and Golden Knights. That's Friday's free game on Angel.tv. Saturday, the Bruins and the Panthers. Of course, the Panthers are going to look to swoop on in to a playoff spot. Jets and Maple Leafs, possibly the only two Canadian teams that will be in the playoffs. The Wild and Stars again. Sharks and Golden Knights. That's a very important game this upcoming Saturday, March 31st. And on April Fool's Day, the Avalanche come out here to the Orange County to face the Ducks. The early game is Bruins and Flyers, two possibly playoff-bound teams. Lightning Predators. That's been predicted as a final preview, a Cup final preview. And of course, Capitals and Penguins, because everybody loves Crosby versus Ovechkin. So those are some of the important games headed for this penultimate week of the season. And that's my lengthy recap of this past week in action. 2 weeks left in the regular season. It's going to be an amazing 2 weeks. We should see quite a bit. There's 12 playoff spots left. We should see about at least 3 or 4 locked up before the month of April begins. So with that, any clinchings, I'll be here I'll be on YouTube with a congratulatory video, but I will be back next Sunday with my recap and a look at the final week of the regular season. So until then, hockey fans, just enjoy this home stretch. I know I will.